Right? And I'm not playing no games. Yeah.
Greetings and salutations, my friend. I hope you all are doing well. It is another Thursday, another episode of She-Hulk. Yep, that's right. Episode 4 is done and gone, and man, oh man. You know, we have the joke. It's about who these people are, and, you know, there's a New York reference in this episode, and obviously they're in California, and this sort of like lefty, white woman stereotype, and they're just miserable humans, and how they hate on men and how they see everything, how they operate or whatever. This show is made by them for them. I don't know what kind of relationship baggage these folks have, because that's what the show is. The show is so even the legal stuff doesn't work in this show, and it's gotten tedious now. It's gotten silly, and I only wish they had set up that the judge had been put in the superhuman court system as like a punishment. Like, I don't know what I did to deserve this, why I get stuck with these cases, whatever it is, because at least they could have an excuse for being less procedural than like Judge Wapner. You know, to be honest, Judge Judy has more procedure than the show does. Like, it's also now it's distracting. But at the same time, the show is just this generic, bland show for the ladies, I guess. I guess there are ladies that watch this. I guess I don't know. Are the Vampire Diaries people? I don't know who these people are that watch this and like it. Let's just get through it really quickly. They're short, of course. This one is about 30 minutes, 27 minutes or so long. It starts with this magician. He goes by Donnie Blaze. And I don't know about you comic book fans, I cringed. I thought to myself, oh my God, they're not trying to have a spin-off of Ghost Rider from this, are they? Oh my God, no, please don't. But no, they do not. He's just a fake magician, and he's put on this fake show where he could levitate all these different things. The audience is completely bored out of their mind. There's hardly anyone there. He asked for the volunteer, so they have this one. This is our first introduction to her, so let's hear what she has to say.
One wife, but it's not where you think.
Wow.
Isn't that just so funny? The drinking, buzzy women, and she's got this fake name, and it's Madison. Oh my God. And yes. So yeah, that joke doesn't stop, by the way. So basically he has one of the sling rings, and he's a dropout student. He puts a sling ring on, he creates a portal, dumps her through a portal, and then we have to fast forward, because that's what people are like impressed by, is actual like real stuff. And then because Madison just shows up. She just shows up. There she is, and I didn't notice that she dropped something on the floor. What was that? I didn't even notice this the first time through. Hold on, let me make sure I don't have sound on. I want to give credit to Az, because last week there was 2 or 3 things that he pointed out and saw, because they did like a much slower deep dive with this 20-minute episode last week than I did. And like the one guy was the basket guy, and the way the Asgardian shapeshifter was handled, and it was even worse than I said it was. And I didn't really heap praise on it or anything like that. I'm just considered it all very generic, and the show still is in a lot of ways. So yeah, they drop her. What does she have in her hand? Hold on. I thought she had her booze or something.
Oh.
No, she had a beating heart. Okay. All right. That's even weirder. Okay. So they don't explain this kind of stuff. There's all this random talk about whatever Donnie Blaze is doing. And he's trying to watch The Sopranos, and she just starts spoiling the show because this wastoid, sleazy girl, and she's played for laughs, and she spoils it all. But Wong's back, right? Now, I will say that the fourth wall breaking stuff in this episode probably is the best so far. The most it reminds me of the comic book, of how self-aware they are. It is she makes a comment about the cameo and Wong being back, and it, quote, gives the show Twitter armor for a week. Not really. However, it's at least more in line with what folks that were fans of She-Hulk liked. She's in her baggy clothes because she has to be She-Hulk. Her dad shows up because she'd gotten attacked at the. Remember that? It happened so long ago. Like at the end of the last episode, we don't really want to address it and talk about it. This is how we're going to address and talk about it. Dad shows up to protect his little girl with, like, you know, locks on the door and an alarm and a shovel. And the shovel gag is fine, and it's played for you can leave the shovel. So she's at her desk and she's making, this is their fake Tinder, right? They're doing Matcher. That's their thing, right? There's I guess these are cases. Hold on, let me see. Desk feng shui research likenesses IP for Mr. Pete. Research precedents or likeness IP for Mr. Pete. Draft cease and desist for Pete versus Runa. These all mean something, I'm sure. Sent Bukowski deposition to managing clerk. That's obviously the last of this. There. Let's see. Pug and Nikki eat one home cooked meal this week. Okay. Find, quote, direct contact info for Wong. File discovery brief for Kraft versus Soul. Compile depositions for Lee versus Byrne. Oh, look at Stan Lee getting a little cameo in there. Very nice. Anyway, finish dating profile. So she's going to click that. The very last thing on her list to do, she's doing first because she's such a good little crappy employee. So she makes her, there you go. I gotta be honest, it really does portray how they handle the Jen Walters character. She's a very unlikable human. No offense to the Jen Walters of the world. If you behave the way she behaves in this show, no one is going to want to date you or be around you because you're just not fun to be around. So she transfers into She-Hulk. And I will say this in this episode.
Okay. We have got to get you some new clothes.
They show her on TV and she has her hair all prettied up like sensational She-Hulk. And in this episode, when she transforms here and she's got her hair like this and whatever, she looks just like, I want to say the 2014 series or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, this makes sense because this is literally where a lot of their source material they want to pull from is, and why this show is just like not traditional She-Hulk. So it works. It works for me because at least I know where they're coming from. I think it's crap. I don't like it then. Don't like it now. But anyway, Wong just shows up and it's all this kind of funny stuff. Like, Wong is still one of the best aspects of the show. And I know some people are like, he's not Wong. Well, I think he's the Wong at the end. Like in Doctor Strange, one of my big issues with Doctor Strange, he kept trying to throw it in Steven's face about he's the Sorcerer Supreme. I am the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, it was this weird shift of his personality. And they don't ever talk about it. And I wish there'd be something about you're a different person than you were before the blip, or the blip changed you, or something. He's just different. It's played for all levity and not a lot of gravitas. He was way more serious and interesting when he was in the first Doctor Strange movie than he is now. And he's talking about he wants to file a lawsuit to get this fake musician, musician. I keep doing that. Magician, charlatan, Donnie Blaze. And his joke will be, he uses quotes, things like that. He thinks he's relating or whatever, and it's fine. Wong is okay in this version of nothing is the way the major comic book fans want it to be, and it's this generic vanilla show that's just throwing things out there, and none of us can relate or like it. It's just bland. The CGI, her hands. Why do they make her skin so smooth? Like, they go so far with it. Like, it's rendered. There's no shadows or anything. There's a little bit on her face. Like, they get her face better in this scene. But then the hand is weird. Like, I don't know. I just love that he looks good. This is a first bar scene. She's working. And the assistant, who, by the way, is gay, because there's one little hetero comment or whatever. And I think in the funny, when we heard some of the rumors about the show. We thought she was going to be the obnoxious, twitty one that we couldn't stand to be around, but she's not. So they get hit on, kind of.
Not alone.
Can I buy you sexy ladies a round of drinks?
Okay.
So it's such a cliche of like the 80s or 90s guy that hits on somebody trying to find somebody or whatever. I don't know. It's just so done. It's so old news. No one cares. Like, you're not funny. You're not adding commentary to society. You're not even exposing anything. Like, in the 70s, this was the guy that had like the shirt that would be buttoned down almost to his navel with his hairy chest, right? And then it would be, you know, you saw the Saturday Night Live sketch with the guys going, "What is love?" Either in their head shakes, you know. It's like, we all got it. These are these skeezy guys that, got to be honest, we as guys don't like either. Like, we don't want them around us either. So please try to find a new cliche. And I know you think you did later on in the episode, but you don't really. So they're doing the matcher game, 500 swipes, blah, blah, blah. She's playing this, whatever. The She-Hulk thing. There's little gags about She-Hulk. And then they go to meet the magician. And I don't know. So this is another reason why the show stinks so bad. Is so the main actor, the Donnie Blaze guy, is joined by this older guy. And the older guy is off stage during the show, like cheering him on, like a manager or the guy running it all. But during this scene, all he manages to do is nothing is playing. Oh gosh, Disney Plus. Is it because we're supposed to presume 100 people are watching this show? Because I'm not sure I believe you. Anyway, so this is the scene. And all the guy on the left here does is just repeat him. Absurd. You can't do your own magic? Yeah, you can't do your own magic.
Yeah, you can't own magic.
You can't trademark a spirit, register a soul, copyright art.
Yes, you can copyright art. Well, why is the other guy there? See the guy at the top? His photo, I guess. So I'm assuming he's the mentor, the magician mentor. It's never discussed. He's just there repeating lines like it's supposed to be funny. All these books are around like you're supposed to be smart people, I guess. I don't know. It's all just dumb. He's really, really like this weird, shisty magician. And again, there's their CGI for She-Hulk. Ooh, brutal. And he just does these cheesy gags or whatever. And they serve the papers and they're in the, anyway. So she starts going on her first series of dates. And again, oh my gosh, this was so cringy. So they're sitting eating. And are they at a bowling alley? I think they're at a bowling alley.
See, I'm a New Yorker.
No, they're at a bowl. They're at a bar. This is the guy who claims he's a New Yorker and he sees things different than these California people and blah, 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 whatever. And there's this quick little shot. Let me see if it lands on it or not. He's checking his phone. I think it was before that. Anyway, there's a part where the oh yeah, he doesn't have a job. He's an entrepreneur. There's a shot where these girls walk by and he looks back at them like he's looking at their backsides. Ladies, if that ever happens, just get up and leave. You know what? This isn't gonna work. Get up and leave. This nerdy version of a douchebag guy, this geeky entrepreneur, Silicon Valley version of a horrible frat boy is still just a horrible male. They come in all shapes, sizes, and versions. Sorry, the nerd girls will tell you there are skeezy guys in the nerd world too. Just because you try to portray one is not some sort of glass breaking. There shouldn't be. If you're at home going, "Oh my God, girl, you're so," you know what? You're doing something wrong. Just don't date them. Just don't. By the way, who is she picking? Because if she picks this guy, oh, this is the cheesy, I got to get out before you going for my wallet versus going for my keys thing. It's just terrible. Oh, cut to the court case. This is the preliminary injunction to cease and desist nonsense. And again, this is the quasi kangaroo court nonsense. And this is Wong calling Madison as a witness. Yeah, let's hear from Madison. This is how bad it gets. Wait, let's do the. She's on the stand.
I just want to ask you a few questions, so if you come this way.
I love that.
Yeah, she's just. It's so unbearably cheesy and silly. I will say, at least her character was funny-ish. Like, are they telling on themselves?
MADISYNN.
Could you tell us about the night you participated?
Yeah. Anyway, so long story short, she starts in about this thing about it. Oh, it was scary and it was fun. It was whatever because she got sucked through the portal where there was these like demons and they like sold her soul or whatever. And this is supposed to be the judge. Can she just have a line that makes us know that she's being punished by being there too? Can we have like a little nugget of something to explain why this is all so dumb? Why they're doing magic in court and they don't really follow any other procedures. See, on this shot, by the way, this part isn't bad. So they can do it like okay. Like I don't have a problem with this shot.
Thank you, Madison.
I sure wish there was still like some texture to the skin so it actually looked like skin and not just face paint and or body spray, whatever. So this is the poor excuse of lawyers and nonsense. Basically, they turn into just doing their own version of magic where you look over and all three of them are doing magic at one point. So that's what's going to happen next. See, they're all three doing magic because that's the court case. That's the legal system in the She-Hulk universe. Meanwhile, Wong goes on this big spiel about magic and destroying everything. And he throws smoke bombs and he makes a rabbit appear at one point. Okay, so Wong does have good lines. So like this was actually the one that I actually thought was not too bad. Let's see if I can get it to get a little bit closer. Let me turn the volume off. Oh yeah, there's a bird thing or whatever. Yeah, that's just not funny. Not at all funny. Like I don't even think like
Can we send Donnie to the mirror dimension? He probably won't even die.
I would.
see, that's fine. That's good. That was fine. That actually saves that. That's so much better. And then of course, as they're leaving, Madison ruins Sopranos more where, you know, she's dropping spoiler alerts to Wong. So then we cut over to Jen, who's just unlikable, horrible person. She's working on a Friday night, not realizing it, calling the assistant. She turns into She-Hulk. Oh, that looks terrible. The other scene looks so good. Oh my gosh. Well, some of the shots don't look bad. Some do. The rendering is all over the map. So when she's She-Hulk, everybody wants to date her. I wonder why. Do you think it's because they think of you as someone they want to be with, or like an important person, or it makes them better? You think you're do you think someone who wants to date Jen Walters, or sorry, if you think someone who doesn't want to date Jen Walters but wants to date She-Hulk is doing it for the right reasons, all the reasons that you would want in a man? What do you think, folks? How do you think this is going to go? Well, this is the people she decided to go out with. Remember, she went out with Nerdy Guy. This was her. This was her guy.
You look very nice too.
Hey, can I ask you a personal question?
So this is a bulky giant guy who benches like 600 pounds, and it's just like a competition thing or whatever. And then there's this guy, Uber Nerd, talks about Titania. What? How did this guy get in the same class as the last guy, and even the guy before that? Like, they're not on the same playing field, like, at all. This was really strange, the choices of the men and this guy just rambles about her superpowers and what kind of power she has, and he uses the incredible term, which she doesn't like because of Bruce, and she can throw a car, and who cares? We're so over it. And then she has this guy, and talk about red flag ladies. If his thing is, if you just don't have this natural conversation when you're chatting with people, like a back and forth, this guy is the cliche male model. He's totally ripped, and it's like, well, you know, I go on so many first dates. I'm like, well, that's the red flag. And this is the thing about, we want to split some fries. He's super smart. Let's listen to you talk. I want to be a good listener. This was the joke that came out of the trailer. Well, we have to cut back to Donnie Blaze, which is fine. He's got his new assistant. She refuses to go in the portal. So come to find out, he does this little trick, lays an egg, and out of the egg comes a bunch of demons. A lot of demons in this episode. The demons are flying around, and he has to go and get Wong's help. Right? Needs help doing this. That's what's happening here. Anyway, so then he basically has to call his attorney. So this is what they do. They're doing their phone and whatever. And he's saying all the things that she wants to say. And by the way, he, in his human form on their couch, has bigger arms than she does as She-Hulk. He is bigger in... So, wow. All right. Okay. That's what we're going for, huh? And you can see that some of the CGI and some of the scenes is fine. But then there are other scenes that are not. So anyway, he has to leave. She has to go and help Wong deal with these little demon things. And it starts off, I will say this, at least it starts off cheesy. Like she's like, oh God, I don't know what to do. And he's basically like, well, just be a Hulk. And it's like they don't die. So he opens a portal to send them. He has to close the demon portal they're coming out of and then create a portal to throw them into. That's what they do. And she's throwing them to him. She's smashing them. They don't die. Things like that. I wish her dress would have gotten torn up. It makes no sense that they don't actually do anything to her clothes or whatever. It's all just so clean and neat and cheesy and smooth. Let's see. So they're still talking about the other dimension. This is the creature that she says, if you don't drop this lawsuit, fake magic nonsense or whatever, that kind of thing. This is what she holds up. I do think it's a practical effect covered in some goo. Not the worst thing in the world. It doesn't. I'm just sort of on it. It's better than another crappy CGI thing. So I'll say that. Let's see. When she falls through the portal, she quite literally falls on top of the guy who's reading a book. Bad Feminist. So he's reading a book called Bad Feminist. The equivalent of a Tinder first date, who's ripped like this, who talks about feelings, bigger arms than you do, reading a book about bad feminists. At least he's not on page 1 like LeBron James is. On every book, every photo he's in taking a photo with. Oh, it's tedious, that's for sure. And this is the shot where she picks him up and carries him. When he hits the lamp. So this was all interspliced together in the footage, and we thought it was going to be way worse than it was. Because when they wake up in the next morning, oh yeah. Oh, this was the text messaging. Yeah, never, whatever. She's on the news again because of Titania suing her. We'll get to that more. And this is what she really looks like, which the dude didn't know. And she's not an ugly lady. Anyway, he just douchebags his way out. Like, forget about the sweater kind of thing. He just zooms in on her. And she does the whole, hot doctor's a cliche joke. I don't know. So anyway, she gets served papers by this guy. And she's basically being sued for trademark of She-Hulk. Titania has files for She-Hulk. And then... it's like, well, that's a pretty crappy way to end the episode. I guess there'll be something good at the end. So we fast forward to the end. And what do we get? We get more Madison. Oh, my God. And all she's doing is talking about booze, like types of booze, and him answering it. And then she ruins the show for him. That's the episode. Nothing else. There's no other stingers, right? I stand my ground. It's the scissoring hens, for scissoring hens by scissoring hens. It really is. It literally is. This is this New York, California women, how they are living their lives, how they see everything. No one wants to be real with them and talk about why they're so off-putting. No one wants to be with them, why their judgment, because obviously she wanted to be with the hot guy. Like they claim they want all this emotional connection and someone who can listen and someone that can be there and whatever. And then whenever they have their choices on something as obviously superficial as a Tinder, which is what Matcher is, they end up choosing the hot guy, and then you get burned by it, and they get used as a one-night stand, and you wonder why things are going badly for you. It's just this. It's been done so many times. Why did we need it to be a She-Hulk version of that? Okay, so then she's getting sued. That's how the episode ends with Titania. So obviously the next episode, she needs an attorney, and who we're going to get? We're going to get Matt Murdock. So we're finally going to get Yellow Suit, Daredevil, and Matt Murdock show up. Will there be some jokes? We'll see how far they go with it, with the Matt Murdock stuff and the jokes. I think that everything about the show is played very, I mean, first off, look at the court scenes. The court scenes are not court scenes. It's like Haas playing a court scene. It's almost like, it's not even like, I don't know, was Night Court more procedural? It seemed more procedural than this. This is like, geez, they didn't even create a fictional way we're going to handle the superhero people. Like, we can't take them seriously because they destroy everything, or do something that would make some sense of this. No effort whatsoever. No effort whatsoever. Really just mundane, bland show. And what makes it really, really bad is it's not as bad as some of their other shows. That's what's bad about this show. The show is so bad, it's not even as bad as some of their other shows. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Tell me yours. Are you still watching? Because part of me didn't even want to do it today. But I'm like, let's just finish it out. Let's ride it out. We're at least halfway, I think. Oh, I watch it so you don't have to. That's my shtick on this. So I'm Pops. Thanks for watching. Consider liking and sharing, subscribing, all that. You know the algorithm drill. Who doesn't know the algorithm drill right now? Anyway, thanks, man. Go have a good day today.
All I do